Abusia for once you subscribe, share more down from the comment and like it. But me aid a friend a coffee bentel and he say no in some about bounty and candidate a more rim papa and some more conscious or say. And near my sitting Nketia about bounty bekan or second. The hands on me don't we a year Jimensa boss Masawi Samotite. The three chairpersons also Mujinifrio. They are not credible to lead. They have no integrity. Sisi na nkasani yenjo mundibiu. Omo ye incompetent. Omo nyome juma ye. Now they are shocking is emra kwa Aboagye of all people. Ono so ababontin ekikan se mezi more mi paase. At first no je eye easy because I'm going for you about one thing during a year. I go for the time no be support James and yada because then time no then he made the equal momo. That time na this man you gonna say these people no anya they made the credible to lead. Now go for the air fight back. But and then finally no or more appreciated the national charm of the NDC man you gonna the air can say also me feel. And I was only feel any many ya, any mea or Chanasa Bissau, or moon any many maya. Even after your Americans call Parliament and Becan say, and name my boss Masai Babons in Becan or Parliament no, as compared to the Lieutenant Babontin concerned about the 19 polling station, I did differ. In the way on the week was Ambra Parliament, Massaquan 11th of a year, July this month, Abba. Nketia Hamza eba neden commercial atoaso.
And for 4 good years the Electoral Commission of this country failed to act in that regard. They did nothing to alleviate the plight of these innocent Ghanaians. So clearly there was nothing more injurious to our democracy than the reality that there were a section of our people who were not represented. And funny enough, the section of the country they were coming from was also quite important. Because they were coming from the Volta region. That was said not to be the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party. So maybe in bed with the government, a decision was taken silently by the Electoral Commission not to act and to continue to deny these people their right to representation. So Roland, these are the facts. And so for the NDC, we've always been consistent. And even in the manner in which the 2024 general elections were conducted, prior to the elections, you realize, even at a point we were calling for a special audit of the voters' register. There were so many inefficiencies that we discovered in that register. They failed to listen. It is quite interesting that in less than 6-7 months in opposition, leading members of the New Patriotic Party and those who championed the Baumia campaign are suddenly coming to appreciate the points NDC made in the last 8 years about the incompetence of this Electoral Commission. Because I was shocked to hear Mr. Kofi Bentel, who was one of the champions of the Dr. Mahmoud Baumia campaign, suddenly declaring on TV that these people needed to go. Remember, a week or 2 ago, when Aseidu Nketia, our national chairman, made a similar call, he was taken to the cleaners. But you see the beauty of principle. Because the party has stood firm to its principles. We are now having people associated with the New Patriotic Party coming to join the chorus of the need for us to reset the Electoral Commission. And that is not all. On another platform, the spokesperson of the Baumia campaign, Dennis Miracles Aboagye, was blatant in his declaration that, indeed, from where he sits, the Electoral Commission in this current decision was simply influenced by the utterances of our national chairman, because he had called for a wiping of the slate clean for their removal. So they were dancing to the tune of the national chairman because they wanted to protect their Roland. If that is anything to go by, if it is true, then it also adds to the voices that are calling for the removal of the commissioners.
But it's fair.
Why is it not fair? Because if indeed, truly, the MPP now accepts...
The way they are appointed and the power that they hold and the way that they are backed by those powers in the Constitution.
But again, that same power that is given to them by the Constitution again creates an opportunity for you to remove them from office if you are not happy with the way they are handling issues. So we must understand that, Roland, it is not a one-way right. The right comes with some responsibilities, and if you fail to fulfill those responsibilities, it is within the remit of the Constitution again that Ghanaians can take advantage of to call for your removal. And all what I'm saying is that today I'm excited because gradually the new patriotic party is beginning to appreciate and see the things we experienced since their appointment as electoral commissioners. And so maybe that consensus, we are moving towards that consensus where all of us would agree that in the interest of our democracy, there is the need for us to reset the Electoral Commission. Because as a political party, we are clear on our minds that one sure way of protecting this democracy is resetting the Electoral Commission and finding ways to get these guys out of office. We are not mincing words. And we appreciate that now that we are in government, there's the likelihood for many or some people to argue that we are doing that for partisan interests. It is about consistency. These were concerns we raised in opposition. These are concerns that the MPP suddenly is coming to accept, that indeed these guys can be influenced. Because if we are saying that they are largely influenced in this current U-turn because of what our chairman said, then clearly we should not have people like that manning our Electoral Commission as a country. We all saw how Dr. Afarijan discharged himself in that position. So we need that semblance of Afarijan, at least that credibility, that integrity to man that office. These guys, since their appointment, have proven that they are either incompetent or willing to be corrupted by the political class when it comes to election management. And that is the more reason why, Roland, we should not have them there.
We've come to the point where the excessive criticism, now even by leading figures in civil society, whether they had positions within an electoral...
Let me wish your viewers a good morning. Wish yourself.
Good morning.
I see you have a new haircut.
Good morning.
I see you have a new haircut.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wish my brother soon you here, and then my prof here. Good morning. I think the issue is not about the Constitution saying that we should not excessively criticize the EC or...
Because they're supposed to be independent, going by...
Yeah, but that is not the... I agree with that kind of interpretation because we have a Constitution that's premised on abiding principles of probity and accountability. And because of that, anybody that holds any sort of power in this country can be subjected to probity and accountability. I don't think that is the issue. I think the biggest issue from the sudden position of the MPP and certain people in civil society, contrary to what my brother here said, it's not because they suddenly appreciate what we've been saying a long time ago. It's not because they suddenly woke up and then they realize that, oh, what our brothers on the other side were saying or what some of us were saying was right. What they are being fooled by is self-interest.
Self-interest?
Yeah, that's what they are being fooled by.
How so?
I think I started doing active politics as in beyond my school days and in 2021. And as actively.
You mean national politics?
Yeah.
National party politics.
And actively, as we were doing things behind the scenes, but as in openly. And then one idea that I've been hearing all the time in today's politics, that politics is about interest. So they tell you quickly, politics is about interest. Indeed, during the book launch of George Anda, I think the former Minister for Information stressed that point, that politics is about interest. The question is, what interest? Because we all know that there are a lot of competing interests. We have our personal interest, and we have the collective interest of the party, and then we have the national interest. The question is, what fuels your interest? As in when you're making arguments, when you're pushing agendas, when you're doing activism, what fuels you? Is your overriding interest, your personal interest, is consistency in the face of challenging interests, of changing interests?
What does it mean?
I think the meaning is clear.
Self-explanatory.
The meaning is clear. You see, there's a reason why we join political parties. We all claim that we join political parties because of an idea, because of a certain principle. There's a reason why we claim that we want to be granted political power. And most of the time, we claim it is based on principle, in a sense of patriotism, on the belief that governance ought to be done in a certain manner, in a noble manner. Yeah, you understand? Now, if that is the case, if the reason why we do politics is because of our love for the country and enduring love for the country, the reason why we do politics, we want political position, is to advance the agenda of the country. You understand? And the reason why we join one party as against the other is based on our alignment to what they claim to be their idea. Then there must be a consistency. You understand? There must be a consistency in the positions you hold, irrespective of the changing circumstances. If anything is clear here, from all that is happening, the sudden attempt by the NDC to hold or to say that the EC is incompetent. If there's one thing that is clear from all this, is the fundamental lack of respect or fidelity to any principle at all by the MPP. The MPP now has become a party without a soul. It does not have any soul. The MPP, as we stand now, is soulless. It's a zombie party.
But what's the current position of the MPP that is that much different from what the NDC and then the civil society organizations hold about the competence or not of the current
I think
management?
The starting point, up when Afrajan was the EC boss, you saw the changing views of the political parties in how they held policies or how they saw policies by Afrajan. In spite of that, because of the ingenuity of Afrajan, he managed to hold the storm. Then Charlotte Osei became EC. And the kind of attacks by the MPP on Charlotte Osei, that's my vote count. And all the demonstrations they made, to the extent that when Nanado became president, under the watch of an EC led by Charlotte Osei, you understand, steps were taken to remove Charlotte Osei. What was MPP's view on that? Under Article 146. At that time, they didn't say anything wrong with Article 146. The application of Article 146. They did not say anything with the opaque nature of Article 146. You understand? Charlotte Osei was removed. J-Mensa came. When Nanado committed that abominable act, that essentially put the EC in a situation where she would be unable to discharge with her obligation, her duties as the EC, to deliver an election which will not only be free and fair, but which will manifestly be seen to be free and fair. What was the MPP's position? The same people who took to the streets and demonstrated on the basis of let my vote count. What was their position when some of our compatriots in South were disenfranchised in the parliamentary elections and were left without representation? What was their position when serious calls were made by a large section of the population on how the EC was handling her matters in a manner that detracted from the trust the people had in the ability to discharge her duties? What was their position? And then suddenly when the EC comes out with a position which the MPP finds or disagrees with, they suddenly open the floodgates of negativity against her, to the extent that they have been telling her, that's all, sorry, you go to church. Speak the truth.
You're making particular reference to the position of the EC to this Ablekuma North.
Well, that's the reason why we are here. The reason why this topic has come up again It's not because of anything sudden. The reason is because of the sudden position the MPP...
The lack of consistency.
The MPP has taken against the EC. And I'm saying that, so MPP is a party that does not have a principled position. Position is fueled by their selfish interests. And that selfish interest is not a national interest. Their interest to win power at all costs. The EC is just one example of the fact that the MPP right now is a party without principle, is a party without a soul, and it's a zombie party. It's a zombie party. Yes, they don't have a soul. Take the parliamentary issue. MPP, you make an argument. The speaker that you sponsored gave an opinion, a written opinion, that because Andrew Isiama, the then MP for what's it called? Asqa. I don't say what was this? Formina, the then MP, because he resigned from the party, asked that he be removed from parliament, and made strong arguments. Then the same facts happened in 2024, at a time when they were pushing for the vacation for the Formina MP to vacate his seat, pursuant to Article 97 of our 1992 Constitution, and in line with their own constitution. They had a huge majority, and so the Formina MP vacating the seat was not going to impact their agenda in Parliament in any way. Now, fast forward to 2024, where their seats in Parliament was 137 by the NDC. When presented with the same facts, the facts didn't change. The same facts, the MPP conveniently changed their position. The bigger question there is that
Mbusha for inyeti sema Hamza ambavo ntembe just all kase. Be na oji ya Saturday, Friday muoni ade no. Nkofuri koti so kokikan sema just ano shipa. Because inimse nkofuri de. During Akofa time, no, they were speaking against a year in December action on a year James and boss Masani Samotete, all the EC chairperson in now. So a year then and Yamaza Sam, Masha say about Bontin, because they sitting Nketia can say, James and the office more supporting, and you appreciate the a year national chairman as in Nketia kind, because 2024 ne be ko abatolo endi se manyu kuno ba bontin be ka say oh that register na mo maye no e ade a enye register papa sa register no e ha ne bi akomonya forensic audit imani nyina be mu ne ade na ma for the international for nyina e kan chi men so nya forensic audit o onya forensic audit o enso manye. Now so ene boss man say call parliament esa say omo register no ba boys because a robust near that no angaza nim say any robust no or call parliament no or catch them say oh my 34 polling stations in Jakarta no maybe sa na catch parliament into we here security be celebrate call for a run for the 3 remaining polling stations you know and I'm so mate na yema we beka chan GP no mama security mate ma acquired how could declare MP for public man off na masa akotena asia na mo ba montin am letter ba bontin samo tete ensa sha sakata na se onso kan EC chairpersons no I can say you be go for 19 polling station for public man off. Then time number of party now how them go into agreement. Even yet if you man the no time a week mommy was or say. Near some boss massa work parliament no. ECG men say she disagree with what boss massa kind. Now name or can you and draw. Then so AGFK Babontin he can send me break and say I So okwa sorry dia make sure so be ya there papa. Because ya there papa Nyankopon be hyira. Na wadwene say e bia omunyi for office there ni wide wagwa. Into onyu so IGP enya mfaton. Onyu so chief judge corner enya mfaton. We dey be UF office. As they say no onya credible be ke kan se mai nim de chechi mensa. So there be o in 9% guide omuti club and ma also free and answering. Our brand now presiding officer no in time no is in moment a declare a me as the MP elect. Sani ma we nyina koso. So on 11th no near ko no ka say also free na ewinia. Entiazenda na dio entiazenda na di. So the be ya kamunjama endi samanyukono. Sana bibrieka. Bien kamunjama endi samanyukono. Because the incident time no one in declare a at the MP elect. Say same some court. You know exactly say enya dem be dem be winning that seat. You know. If you say a call for all around for all see what is the 2 polling station at Ablikman of Kampa. Enya dem be winning. You know for sure. We yanchi the movie. You know for sure say enya dem made them be winning. So these are the things that Hamza about pointing out right. And I think so movement for change. I couldn't even so a joining or say. A young Pemanyukoni is zombie party. They are zombies. She knew Mama was like a nipper should be on one visa. Doesn't always say the Diomatem, the young desire, you know. Go my name, I say, go my bone. Sana madi jebread eka. So you never be bring on kaya just now. And the far about me the coffee bent and some more kaya and name rock Aboagye na. Charging comment such share more down for and no love as you near me. I have one Akroma.